Hey guys. Hey Jerome. Hey Amanda. Oh, I'm sorry, Mandy. Oh, I'm sorry, Amanda. Hey Elaine. Hey Anna. Okay, I'll stop it. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. So I'm starting a series of videos, and the title of the series is Timeline. But I want to say something else first before I dig into the timeline. I've been contacted by people who claim that they know that Christopher Watt's wife was not allowed to be alone with the children. I've been contacted by people who claim a lot of other things too. And a lot of it is even more shocking than hearing that Christopher Watt's wife was not allowed to be alone with their children. So I just want to say, for everyone who's contacting me, I hope that you also contact law enforcement with the information that you have. I'm hearing that there are a lot of concerns about speaking up and speaking out and telling what you know. And I get that because I've been under attack since September 3rd, probably by the same people who you're afraid of. But I would really think that that part of you that picked up that phone or that sent me that letter or sent me that text message would also really feel that it was necessary to pick up that phone and call law enforcement. I agree that the truth has the right to be known because, in my opinion, Bella and Celeste deserve to have the truth be known. So I want to just encourage you again, please pick up the phone and call law enforcement and let them know what you know. I think it's the right thing to do. They are the experts. They are trained. They will be able to interview you and to discern what information they may decide to follow up on. So I'm starting this series. The name of the series is Timeline, and this is the first video of the series. So let's get started. Christopher Watt's wife started her Facebook profile back in 2007 using the name Shanann Catherine King. And then over the next 3 years, she barely posted at all, just 1 or 2 posts. That's it. In December of 2009, she bought a house, which is very interesting considering the fact that she had less than 10% down. Remember, in 2009, that was 1 year after the housing crash, right? After the housing bubble burst. And lenders faced very strict regulations, especially with a non-traditional borrower with less than 10% down. So all I can say about that is I sure would like to see that income verification form. Be very interesting to do a little handwriting analysis on that signature. So get this, in January of 2010, there were accusations of embezzlement made against her. January of 2010. Okay, so she bought her house somehow, magically, in December of 2009. 1 month later, there were accusations flying around that she had embezzled funds. 1 month after magically buying a house. Okay. Now, many years later, she would say that the first week of May 2010 was the week that she was diagnosed with 3 serious diseases, all at the same time. December 2009, she magically buys a house. January 2010, there are accusations of embezzlement floating around. And in May of 2010, she would claim in later years she was suddenly diagnosed with 3 serious diseases all in the same week. Yet get this, she started posting in 2010. She started becoming a regular poster in 2010 following those accusations of embezzlement. But she never mentioned her 3 serious diseases. There is zero about any of her alleged illnesses or that she was being diagnosed around that time at all on her profile. There is no post at all about any testing or being sick, nothing at all. She's posting right along, but she doesn't mention the fact that she's being diagnosed with 3 major diseases. December 2009, magically buys a house with less than 10% down. January 2010, accusations of embezzlement start floating around. She starts posting all over Facebook, but doesn't mention that she has 3 major diseases diagnosed all in 1 week. And then over that summer, now remember, she would claim later that in May of 2010, she was diagnosed with 3 serious diseases. And over that summer, she had a series of escaping posts. Example, she wanted a one-way ticket away from anyone who knew her. And then on August 10th of 2010, Christopher Watts and his wife had their first date. They were set up actually by his cousin by marriage. This is interesting stuff, guys. She met Christopher Watts on August 10th of 2010, and all of a sudden, she begins posting about lupus. They are non-stop for most of the rest of 2010 after meeting Christopher Watts and 2011. She posts endlessly on her pain and how tired she was and her migraines and her memory loss. That's a new one. And her hair loss. That's a new one too. Remember, these posts all about her pain and her migraines only happened after meeting Christopher Watts on August 10th of 2010. Her posts also included a ton of testing. that would have been done prior to a diagnosis, not after. There's an MRI, there's blood work, it looks like there's another MRI, a colonoscopy. And with all of this testing she's talking about, after being diagnosed with 3 serious diseases, she never mentions ANA. Within 4 months of her alleged diagnosis of lupus, she was already leading teams for lupus walks. And of course, she was the top fundraiser. She posted about these walks nonstop to get people to donate. In some of her posts, she advised people to donate straight to her. She made t-shirts about lupus and was selling them privately. She hosted a yard sale for lupus, too. And she did a raffle for lupus and claimed that all of the proceeds would be donated, of course. That's a lot of information in just a few minutes, isn't it? There's a lot to process here. I think that it's very interesting that while she was actively posting on Facebook, she never mentioned being ill. Later, she would claim that May of 2010 was when she was diagnosed with 3 separate diseases all at the same time. Yet she never discussed any testing or blood work or anything until after meeting Christopher Watts. She never discussed her headaches, or I should say her migraines, or her fatigue, or feeling ill at all until after meeting Christopher Watts. I'll go ahead and wrap this one up because I think there is such a thing as just too much information all at once. But I suggest you take a listen again. Run through this video a second time and just let all of this sink in, because it sure seems to me that right from the very beginning of this story, something just isn't adding up. Or actually, it is, if you know what I mean.